Okay, this is going to be a basic rundown of how the WSJT/X works. Right now, you can see I've got rig control up on my win for Yaesu, so I can run multiple programs, but we're going to focus on this one. So if you have it all set up, right now I'm on upper sideband. I'm going to go to 20 meter. It'll automatically switch it. FT4 is a faster one. It does 7.5 seconds as opposed to 15-second intervals. I don't really hear much. What I do to see if there's going to be a lot of activity is you can kind of hear there's some activity in the background. If you go to FT8, and when you switch, as long as you have everything set up right, it should automatically switch your rig into whatever mode that it needs to be in. So mine goes into data U. But anyway, there's that. So if you see somebody calling CQ, like I've already done these ones, so you just double click on these and see it'll automatically populate down here in the bottom right corner. You'll just hit enable transaction. And while it's doing that, so this slider here, you want to adjust that to try to get over here. I have my power at 100 because I talk to a lot of people. You get your power set to 100, but you'd want to try to keep your ALC down low. They say at least the first third. So I have mine going no higher than the number 3 on my rig. So I just kind of watch that, and this is the power slider, and it'll be different for each band. There's a setting on WSJ so you can have it save your settings for each band. So when you switch, it automatically changes that power level right here to the very right. So you keep your ALC, like you can see mine's down at the bottom, but my power's still at 100. On 40 meter, it's about 65 power, and that's how low I had to go to keep the ALC down. So it'll be different for each band. But see, this person did reply, and it automatically goes through just like that. I have my logger open. I have it set up so all I gotta do is hit OK, and it's gonna be in my logbook. You don't have to. You can manually enter in your logbook however you want to do it. I just automate everything. So now when you're done, you don't have to clear this, but down here it already says CQ, your call sign, your location. You just hit enable transaction. You're going to wait the 15 seconds. It'll start transmitting. Now, when someone sees your CQ, they're going to do the same thing I did. They're going to double click my name, and then it's going to start a whole process. It'll automatically go through these until you call 73. Once it calls 73, it'll automatically kick off your enable transaction. Or if you go to try to get somebody that's calling CQ, if you look here on this right side above here where you can see people, if it sees any of the people you're trying to contact make a CQ call with somebody else, it'll automatically turn off your enable transaction so you're not getting in the middle of their conversation. They may come back after they're done if they saw your initial CQ, if they did it all, or you can wait for them to call CQ again. But it will do this every 15 seconds. See, it's already done it twice. See, it'll call it again. It will do it from factory, I think it's 10 or 11 times. It'll keep doing that. If there's no responses, down here in the bottom left, it'll be red. It'll say something. You think it's an error. It's not. It's just because it only does it. You can adjust how many times it'll do it before it automatically quits. But I usually just turn it off. The other thing about this as well is over here you can see the wide graph. This relates pretty much down to right here, the receive. You can adjust the hertz here. Don't adjust the hertz on your radio. Don't adjust these. Don't play with these. I don't ever mess with these. Some people do. Oh, see, someone there. If you have the enable transaction button going, it'll automatically do this part. But I turned it off, so I had to manually double click that response, and I got a couple of people. Okay, but anyway, you can change this. A lot of people do it to kind of, but that up here we see the yellow and the red, that's where there's activity. But when you double click someone's name, it will automatically, see like right here, it changed to 1097. It'll automatically go to whatever frequency they're sending and receiving from. Let me turn this down. But here you can see the green and the red, send, receive. You can adjust these. You can try to follow where these sounds are, but it does a pretty good job of doing it by itself. And then see it automatically call 73. Sometimes if they don't see your 73, what you can do is double click on them again. Oops, 1 second. You gotta wait for it to finish transaction or it'll try to send it twice. You just double click it again and you can just resend the 73 until they see it. I'm gonna go to this guy since he did send a message though. But that's how that works. Okay, there, he sent the 73. I try to make sure they send the 73. To me, it's good practice. And when it is sending and receiving, it will automatically change your frequencies. Don't worry, it's meant to do that. But that's for that. There is one more thing I will show you. Just give me 1 second. Let me finish this jump. But if you don't have CQ on, I'll show you this while it's doing this. If you don't have CQ on, it will show every conversation going on. And it just clutters up the left side. So I like to hit CQ only. So it'll only show people calling CQ so you can keep tabs. So if you're trying to follow someone, you'll see them. Like when it gets really busy, that left side will be popping. You're going to have a lot of people. Here, let me show you to see if this guy does it. But see it. Once he made contact, it automatically populated over here, which looks like I've contacted him earlier in July. When he finally acknowledges it, I will click. Let's give you guys a chance to kind of see how this works. And again, this is just how I have my system set up. There may be different settings that other people use that works better for them. But usually if they don't respond by the 3rd try, I'll just turn this off. Anyway, that's how that works. So if you go over back to FT4, I'm going to go clear this. So if you use FT4, it is a lot faster, and I will show you. However, if you are on FT4 and you see this button down here, Best S+P, this, if you have it clicked, you don't necessarily have to have Enable Transaction clicked, but it will watch on the left side for people calling CQ. And if it picks up one that has a decent enough signal, it will automatically do the double clicking for you. It will. I did it earlier. You just click this. You have them both going. If it has a clear enough CQ, it will automatically pick up that person's CQ and automatically start the whole conversation for you. So a little more automation than the normal FT8. But as you can see, this one goes a little bit faster. So if you're trying to just bust out QSOs, great space to do it in if it's populated. I'll scan the band sometimes and listen for a lot of noise, the FT8 noise or the digital noise that you hear over the radio. If I don't hear a lot, I'll go back to like FT8. So unclick that. Back to FT8. A lot more noise. And that's how that works.